Hello, my name's Dan Dodds. I'm the principal attorney at the Dodds Law Firm in Surprise, Arizona. Today I want to talk about 3 reasons why you might want to avoid probate when you die. Probate is the process, the legal process of determining what's your property, who should it go to, and in what amounts. If you haven't developed something like a trust, or you've left a will that disperses 100% of all the assets that you own at your death, then you're going to have to go through probate. Now, there's an exception to probate that I'm going to talk about last, but it doesn't apply to many people. So let's talk about what I consider the 2 giant reasons. The first reason you might want to avoid probate is cost. Probate can turn out to be very expensive. It's hard to say how much because it depends on, is it contested or isn't it contested? Do you have multiple properties, a business that has to be unwound? You have property in other states? The more complexity of the case, the higher the fee. But as a general rule of thumb, I'd say it's going to run somewhere between 3 to 8% of the value of the estate, which gets paid from the money that's in the estate first, and then the heirs take what's ever left over. So who are these people that are going to eat up the money of my great uncle's estate? Well, one would be attorneys. Attorneys get appointed to defend the estate and to attack the estate on behalf of an heir. You many times have appraisers that have to have appraisals on it. Well, what's this business worth? What's this home worth? What's this 1949 Buick Roadmaster worth? That's a classic car because I own one. A realtor's fees if you have to sell property. Accountants that have to do work to establish the value of your assets. If you have raw land that could be in dispute of where the borders are, maybe land surveyors, real estate taxes, insurance, utility, property maintenance fees, and HOA fees. Those are all being paid until the probate court completes the probate process. Now, second factor, time. At a minimum, you're looking at 5 months to perhaps several years for a probate court to get all these issues that could arise resolved. In that 5 months to several years, the heirs will receive nothing until that probate process is completed and closed. And in the meantime, the value of the estate I left somebody is getting less and less and less and less. So cost and time are important factors to consider. Now, perhaps the third one is of some concern to most people, and to many people they could care less. Loss of privacy. A trust, if you have a trust and you got an executor and all the assets that you have are in that trust, then the only people that are aware of it are your heirs, because the executor is following your direction as to what you wanted done with your assets. They're paying the bills and dispersing the assets. So you're never in a courtroom. Now, if you have to go through probate, not all people that die with no will or trust in place necessarily have to go to probate. So here's 2 pieces of information. If you die and have less than $75,000 in personal property, you can avoid going to probate. And or you have less than $100,000 in real property. Now, many people might not have $175,000 in their estate, so there's always the alternative to avoiding probate, and we can discuss that in a different time and as how that might work. But probate, again, I'm not trying to scare you, I'm just telling you, it can turn out to be an expensive affair, and it can turn into a food fight when different families believe that they don't like the way the distribution's going. Therefore, I'm going to file a lawsuit against the estate to get what I was excluded from in my mind. So it can make enemies out of people, and I think most of us want to die. We can't avoid the pain of our loved ones missing us, but we can avoid families being destroyed because they're fighting with each other. Well, I hope this information's helpful. If you'd like to talk more about what your situation is and what your alternatives to be able to manage your estate in a proactive way are, feel free to give me a call, ask them to set up a consultation for you. I'll be more than glad to visit with you about it and bring some clarity to you. Hope you have a good day.